In today's topic, I'm going to talk about something that I am recently going through. It's not very recent, honestly, but I have been conducting a little experiment to figure out what is the situation of the corporate industry in the current landscape. Now, for background information, I am looking for a job in corporate, specifically IT, and I have previous work experience. Not all of my work experience are relevant to IT, but I do have experience that can be considered as transferable skills, which would help me do my new jobs that I'm currently looking for. For background information, I am currently a freelancer and I work on a freelance basis, but the income I'm making as a freelancer is not enough for me to sustain myself, and I am looking for a permanent solution to this problem. All my life, in the past few years, since I started working, that would be around 2021 ish, I have had a lot of freelance work and contractual projects. I never got a proper permanent job, and that is something that has become a problem for me, honestly, because finding a permanent job is something I have been looking since a very long time, but I haven't found anything that would qualify me for a permanent job. There would be different reasons why I couldn't find a permanent job per se, because maybe the qualifications I have and the experience I have was not enough initially, and then when it was enough, I found that these jobs were not paying as much as I would expect it to pay with the kind of experience they were looking for. And with all that stuff, I think I haven't found a job that would suit my needs. Now, honestly, I'm not somebody who's extremely demanding when it comes to money. I do have a certain bracket which I would expect from any job. That would be a minimum standard which I would make from a permanent job, because that is the money I normally would make in a freelance career. And if I do not make that minimum amount of money in a permanent job, that would make no sense for me to leave my healthy freelance career and start something permanent. The reason why I think I need a permanent job right now is stability. Freelance career is very erratic. Sometimes you have great, opportunities and you can do so much work and you can make so much money, but sometimes it's completely dried down and you do not get any suitable opportunity. So you have to wait a lot in between opportunities, and sometimes you have this period of income losses, which can be a little problem. So overall, considering all these factors, I think a permanent job for me right now would be more suitable, so that I am able to gain more experience and build my portfolios, and maybe in the future go back to freelancing again, because this is something I absolutely enjoy doing personally. Freelancing means that I can focus on other things outside work, and that also means being able to build my social media, which I absolutely love doing. I have started YouTube, which I started just a few months ago, and I was inactive on it for 2 months because of different issues of my personal life. But now I'm back again and making videos again. But this kind of thing would only work out if you have a very balanced job where you get that work life balance, so that you have the free time to sit down and make your videos on YouTube or do social media work, which I like. So I'm looking for something that might not have great pay. I'm not very concerned about the pay scale, honestly, at this moment. Decent enough to make me, not go broke, or help me pay the bills which I need to pay as somebody of my age. And also something that gives me that work life balance, which is the only demand I have from a job right now. But I think with this current industry, I'm feeling that my demands might be way too much. But nevertheless, if you do not try, you will not get it. So I keep my hopes high, and meanwhile, I'm trying my best to supplement my income as much as possible. And I started this experiment to figure out what is going on and how do I make best use of the opportunities that I'm getting right now. So let me explain what I'm actually trying to say. So the kind of jobs I'm looking for is related to analytics and research. And for these kind of roles, there are companies which are really good companies that will provide you the work life balance and everything, but they expect you to have a minimum X amount of experience, which I am lacking right now. So that is one of my top priority companies, which I know maybe I'm not ready enough to get those opportunity right away, but maybe in the future, if I keep building myself up from the grassroots level, and if I build my skills enough, I think I'll be able to get those jobs. Meanwhile, I'm focusing on other sort of jobs which are related to that field, maybe, but maybe I don't have to do exactly all the stuff, but I can still upskill myself and learn those new skills which would require me to do jobs in this particular domain. Anyway, during this experiment, I was applying for different categories of jobs, and I'd applied to really a lot of jobs. I have lost count, maybe 1,000 jobs probably. And people will come for me and say, you have to find jobs that are relevant to you. Do not apply blindly. Do not apply for jobs that isn't in your skill set. No, there is nothing like that. I mean, I'm not applying to every job I get, obviously, but I'm applying to jobs that are relevant to me, in the sense that I do have those skills to be able to perform those jobs. But most of the time, those jobs might ask me to have more experience than I already have, and that is becoming a little problem. But even with that, I'm getting callbacks. It's not like I'm not getting them, but the problem is it's just not working for me. Like, the jobs I really want, those are the jobs that require me to have more experience and maybe a little more skills than I already possess. But if I were given the opportunity to do that job and maybe learn a few more skills and upskill myself, and give or take 3 to 6 months, I would be qualified to do that job pretty easily. But company these days don't want to hire people who have potential, but they already want people who have already worked in those fields and have those skills from the beginning, so that they do not have to spend money on training the employees. And that is probably where the companies are not getting the right kind of employees, because they are not looking at people's personality or their potential or their desires. They are looking for people who already know this thing in and out, and with that experience comes certain expectations. Like, a person who has x number of experience in a certain field would have x number of expectations, like maybe a pay scale which is probably above the company's budget, because they have a certain number of years, and with those years they are making way more money, and they want their salary when they change their jobs to be at least a little more than what they made in the previous company. And that is what is happening. Expectations are not getting met, and companies are stuck in this loop where they cannot find the right talents, and the right talents who have the knack to do a certain job but maybe require a little bit training. They are not able to find these companies to hire them. And I am one of those people who are in this category, where I know I have a knack to do certain things, and I do have some skill sets I've learned, and maybe I do not have the hands on experience per se, which the company say that you have to have, say, 1 year hands on experience working with a particular tool. But I know how to use the tool because I have learned how to use the tool, but I do not have that 1 year of experience using the tool, because I never had a job that required me to use that particular tool. So this is the mismatch which is happening with me. And I'm going through several rounds of interview with these companies, maybe 1 or 2 rounds. I'm giving the assignment and getting a call back, but after that it's just not working out. And I'm getting rejected, or I am rejecting the company because I'm getting something that is pretty below my expectations. Companies have extensive list of things they want their employees to know, but in reality, half of these things are not used to do your day-to-day jobs. For my example, which is pretty into data analytics and research, we would see job profiles that would ask you to know a few programming languages and basic things like SQL and spreadsheets, Python, and other stuff. But in reality, when you work as a data analyst, you probably would use a few tools at max. Like, I used a tool called Apache Spark in one of my previous jobs as a data analyst, and spreadsheets are literally the most common and the most used tools. And apart from that, you could use SQL. That's it. Maybe two, three tools that would be required for you to do the job. And for something that is way more technical, people might be required to know how to use Python. But there are jobs that are requiring you to know way more than this and have hands-on experience on XYZ number of tools and stuff. And then when you cannot find those talents, the companies are like, there is nobody talented these days. And whoever we find are literally out of our budget because they have way too many years of experience and their salaries are pretty high right now, and the companies cannot meet their expectations. I'm talking about these people who are my friends who are in a similar phase like me, who probably just left their previous job or is in a current job and looking for some change. They are seeing that the companies require them to know an ample number of things, but even if they know those things, the companies are not paying them properly for the job. So why would they change the jobs, or why would they sign up for a job that would not pay them the expected amount they require? What's the point? So this is the current scenario right now because of the recession and because of the global geopolitics and so many things. And this is not just in India. I'm from India, but I see a lot of content made by creators worldwide, whether it's in the US or in Europe. Everyone is saying the same thing more or less, and it's like the same reputations of the same thing that I'm saying in different countries with different experience. And my generation, Gen Z, is facing so much unemployment, and people are not happy, people are underpaid, people are not satisfied with the work, and most of us are opting for freelance projects over getting a permanent full-time job. But with the freelance project, as I previously said, there is no such guarantee that you would have an ongoing flow of work because the market is very erratic. Things might change at any point of time, and you might stop getting the work you are expecting, and then you would be left with no income and no work to do, and just stuck in this loop of finding jobs and not getting the job you want. With my experiment, I applied, as I said, I applied to multiple companies, like maybe a few thousands, and I've categorized these kind of companies into different categories too. The first category is the most sought after category, the jobs I absolutely would love to do, companies I would absolutely love to join, no matter what kind of work they put me in, what kind of schedule they give me. I will have literally zero complaints because those are my dream companies with the dream jobs. I mean, if you do not get a job that satisfies you and you do not get to work in a company whose culture is something you really like, you will not be able to stick to the job for a very long time. You will suffer from burnout, you will be sad, you will feel miserable, and that's something I do not want in my job. Second category that I am applying for, and this is the category which is generally coming back to me with the job offers, most calls. Like, I got some calls from the first category, definitely. The second category is the category who is kind of calling me like the most. So majority of the calls and the responses, emails are coming from the second category. And these categories are the categories which are relevant to me but not 100% relevant. I mean, the jobs that I'm applying for, the profiles maybe is relevant, but there are certain things which might make me feel like maybe this job is not for me, or maybe I will not be able to perform the job. Simplest example is the job timing. Like, there are certain companies which I have applied for in this category has the right profile for me, but the job timing is something that I do not want to work in that particular shift. Or maybe the job is not in the pay scale which I would expect from this particular kind of job. It is satisfying my minimum amount which I'm asking from a company, but it's not giving me the real market price which I would want from a job. The third category is the category of the jobs that I do not care about, but these are the backup jobs which I have applied to, and maybe I would join one of them if something feels right, in the sense that this job has most of the inconvenience, but one convenience factor that would motivate me to join this job if nothing else works out. Simplest example of this is finding the right profile of job that I want to work. Maybe this company is something I feel will not be a good fit for me in the long run. But I would still take up this offer because the job profile is the 100% perfect profile for me. So even things that might not be perfectly aligned, but there is one factor that will make me feel maybe I should give it a shot until something better comes along. So these are the backup jobs for me. Now in the backup categories, something is a priority for me is shift timing. Like for backup categories, I might join a job which might be similar to the kind of job I'm looking for, but it needs to have a particular shift in which I would be working. That is a proper general morning shift, like from 9 to 6 or 10 to 7. Because I do not want to work in a job that I do not like at all, the company I do not like at all, but I would only pick it up if the job might be relevant for me to grow, to make money and gain experience. But it needs to give me something that would make me feel fine. Let's give it a try. That is this timing, shift timing. There are so many people like me in my shoes in India, especially. The unemployment rate in India is staggering, and you have so much competition. For one job, there are thousands and thousands of applicants who are fighting for that one particular spot. So imagine the kind of pressure you have and the competition you have to go through to get that one particular job, and the jobs which are very lucrative, which falls in the relevant category, which pays you the right amount of money to be able to do the job, and absolutely the perfect job, as one can say, for you, is the most sought after job, and it's very unlikely you would get that job. But there are people I know who have found that jobs. It's not impossible, but it takes a lot of effort and consistency to get there. The second category is the category of jobs that will call you and contact you the most. These jobs are the jobs you will want to do and is relevant to you, but the jobs have certain drawbacks. Maybe this job is from a startup which is pretty new, and probably they are not being able to pay you the certain amount of money you expect, or they are paying you but the work environment is extremely hectic where you have to put in a lot more hours than usual. The second category of jobs will actually contact you the most if you're in a situation like me with the kind of experience I have. And not just me, my kind of experience, but most people would say that the category of jobs that contact them in maximum number would be jobs they find little relevant, but not the kind of jobs they absolutely love and would prefer doing. Companies which you want to work for, or maybe the job's profile is good enough but not great. So yeah, most people would join these kind of jobs. Now the problem is that even in this kind of category of job that I'm talking about has a really high competition right now. Previously, especially during 2020, 2021 till up till 2022, this category had very less competition because people were only competing for the first category. The second category of jobs, people were like, yeah, okay, fine, maybe as a backup. Now the second category was backup for most people. That was the reason why most people were able to find jobs in the second category and work these jobs for not more than 2 to 3 years probably, and then leave and find themselves job in the first category, the most sought after category. And that was the normal situation up till 2022-ish. That's what I saw the market was like. Now post that, especially from 2023 onwards, things have changed completely. The second category is the category of jobs people are right now taking up left, right and center, because the first category of jobs is unattainable right now, and the second category of jobs have become the most competitive and the most sought after. Right right this moment, the second category is like literally everyone is getting the jobs. Previously these jobs and companies, people were not even interested in applying for, or maybe if they did, they would keep it as a backup offer if they did not get an offer from the company they wanted. This category has become now people's primary category because they are not getting a single call back from the companies they want to, but they're getting call back from this company. And this is what I'm also getting right now. Highest call rate is from the second category because they are open to different kinds of people, but they are also getting good candidates, because the good candidates are not getting jobs in the first category, the sought after category, so they're taking up this backup job offer right now. And for majority of the candidates, the third category is their backup jobs right now. Previously this second category was their backup jobs, but now their third category is the backup job, which includes me as well. So I'm right now chasing the second category of jobs, trying to avoid the third category and keeping it as a backup, while dreaming about getting a job in the first category. Now, the third category of jobs are the jobs that I will only do when I'm in a situation where I'm not getting any jobs from my first category or the second category. And right now, my situation is like this, where I'm considering maybe getting a job in the third category and then joining the job, working in it for a few months. And the job which I applied for is sort of relevant but not 100% relevant. There are, skills and kind of work which I have to do for the job is relevant to the kind of domain I am aspiring to find a job in. That is one of the reasons why I applied for. But there are certain aspects to the job which I do not want to have any skills in. Those skills are would be usually nice to have skills, but they will not be really relevant for me in the long run if I really look into it with that particular lens, because I I'm not good at it. Like, the skills I'm talking about is something I am not good at, and I fear for it. Like, I'm not really interested in learning those skills, and even if I do, I do not feel comfortable doing those things. Honestly, right now in 2024, I would like to do something out of my comfort zone, but there is a limit to everything, especially when it comes to something which I have to do every single day. For the next few years of my life, I'm not really comfortable. Maybe taking up something that I am not normally comfortable with as a challenge and seeing where it goes is different. But taking up something that is so important to you and your life, and taking it with the thought of let's experiment it and maybe we will see after this, is really crazy. It's like getting married to somebody who you are not even sure about, and there is a very high chance that you would divorce a person after a few months or years. This is the situation for me, because those skills make me so uncomfortable. I would say those job roles or the job description or the part of the job makes me so uncomfortable. I would rather not do that. There are certain alternative things I would like to do, but that thing is something I would opt out for. Now, again, this is something that maybe I would have considered if one category of this job would be normal. Now, as I said, this category is completely the backup category. That means in this particular category, there's only inconveniences, but maybe one or two conveniences. Now the convenience factor is that this is a job which is pretty relevant to me, but not 100%, maybe 50 to 60% of the, if it is relevant. And then there is this major problem with this job which I would not like to do it. As I mentioned before, I am somebody who is looking for a job that is usually during the day hours, general shift from 9 to 6 or 10 to 7, maximum 11 to 8. But if this job is something I'm not very 100% sure about and extra, I would not opt for it. This job requires me to work 10 hours of shift for 5 days a week, and the shift timing is between 4 p.m. in the afternoon till 2 a.m. at night, which is a nightmare for me. Imagine working between these hours, 10 hours a day. That's like, oh my god, most of the jobs I see require you to work 9 hours. In India, we have this 45-hour work week in general, 9 hours shift is absolutely normal in India to work a daily 9 hours job. But working 10 hours for a job I do not like, and specifically in a very odd time like this, it's not a great thing. And the problem is, in India, these jobs which say you have a 9-hour working shift, will never be exactly 9 hours. There will be times where you would be working more than 10 hours, more than 12 hours, and that would be unpaid overtime. Most of the companies do not give you overtime in India. That is something you have to really accept. So a 9 hour shift is not always 9 hour. You will work for 10 hours, 11 hours, 12 hours. Now imagine a 10-hour shift at an odd time like this. I'm pretty sure this 10-hour shift will always stretch to 11 to 12 hours, and I would be going to bed at 4 a.m. in the morning doing a job I absolutely hate. And no, I'm not for it. And the company has been chasing me left, right, and center where I did not submit the assignment on time. I gave a horrible interview. I literally made sure I watched the interview. The reason why I gave the interview in the first place is because I wanted to make sure I have something at hand. But right now, after doing the the most extreme possible sabotages, where I did the assignment using literally a generative AI. I did not write anything on my own. Like I did not put a single effort in doing it. Even checking for anything, nothing. I literally faked it. I just asked the AI to do the assignment for me, and I did. I did not even bother to proofread it. After that, they are literally running after me and asking me to uh, give the next rounds of interview is kind of a red flag for me, because I don't think they care about the quality of work or the quality of employees. I don't know, with this company I just cannot put a finger on that. There is something wrong with the company, because no matter how bad I try to make things not work for me, they are literally coming back to me. And they called me and gave me this odd interview time that is like 10:30 p.m. at night. I instantly told the HR I'm not interested. She's like, I'll try to reschedule it for you during a different timing, let me see. So they are interested in hiring me now. I don't know why. I'm flattered, definitely, but I'm not interested. So maybe if this escalates, I would, kind of, let it go. But I really want to go up till the salary discussion round, because why not? If corporates can exploit employees and make us go through so much of pressure and problems, blah blah blah, why not have a salary discussion and then tell them the salary they are giving me is not up to the mark and turn it down and whatever. Because I have a hint the salary might not be very high, because the kind of expectations they have from the job and the kind of working hours they are asking you to work. I have done my research on this company. The salary scale is not up to the mark. So I definitely want to go to that round and tell them no, but I will not give an interview at 10:30 at night, because that is the most inconvenient time. Like I am pretty sure 99.99% I'm going to reject this offer. But to do so I just need to see where it goes. And maybe I might not reject, because you never know, situations might arise where I am in a dire need and I might require the offer. But until then, I right now at the time of filming I'm not interested in the job, and I am pretty sure I'm going to reject it. I'm just interested in having the salary discussion and seeing what kind of salary they are offering me, which I am pretty sure it's not going to be that high. So, talking about the experiment perspective of the story is, experimenting in a situation like this is very tough, especially when you are like me and you are trying so hard. But the conclusions from this experiment is very simple, and I think I need to give you this reality check that it is not you, it is definitely not you, it's not you as a person who is at fault because you're not getting the job you want. Where the market is so competitive right now, no matter how good at you are, you will not get the job, and no matter how bad you are, you will get the job if the job desperately needs you. I can, give the worst possible interview and the worst possible assignments, copy, fake it, and they would still be willing to take me to the next round of interviews and even offer me the job, because the job thinks I am the good candidate for them. Now, irrespective of the fact I feel this job is right for me or wrong, but I think somewhere down the line they made up their mind that they wanted to hire me. That is why they are chasing me. And if a company is interested in hiring you, no matter how bad you do at an interview, if they will put all those biases out and if they pick you, they will pick you. This is the market right now. I'm not joking. I have literally seen this happen to more than one person. It's not about me. I've seen this happen to so many people of mine who are like, I had to reject the job because this job was not offering me the right kind of salary, and the job literally called them multiple times and negotiated, and then they came to us, a salary package which would satisfy them. But the jobs would chase you if they want you, and if they do not want you, no matter how good of a candidate you are, they will scrap you out. No matter the best interview you give in your life, they will scrap you. They will not take you. No matter how accurate your assignment is, they will not take you. It happened with me. That is it for today. I think this video was more serious, but there is a reason why I made this. Is because I wanted to discuss something that is very important to me, and I think it is very important to many people like me. And to navigate the situation, I do not have any particular solution, but talking about it and having an open conversation and discussing maybe different strategies how to overcome this is the only way for people like us to get out of the situation. So I'm requesting people to leave some comments discussing your situation and maybe giving me some advices on how to navigate a situation like this. Feel free to criticize me. I do not mind, because in a situation like this, criticism, as long as it is constructive, will help me find something that I did not even look at before, and maybe look into things with a different perspective and find out solutions and strategies that can be really helpful to me. Because if I do not see this from a different perspective or a different lens, which I'm sure you guys can offer me, I will not be able to find solution to the problems. And maybe once I find a solution, and I would be able to share it with others, and meanwhile I can experiment other things to figure out what is the root cause of the problem and how to solve it. If you like this video, please do leave a comment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you. Take care. Bye.